It was 100 buy-in, and I think we had 190 runners, 190 entries.
Ooh, that's a lot of
100. It
entries.
wasn't 190 uniques. It was an unlimited re-entry, and it was a lot of fun. So you end up playing it 6K up top for 2 days play and having a great time. And they quite often throw on some food, some wine.
Yeah, I hosted an event in Malta, and ever since I've been a member of this Malta Poker Fish community, and I love it.
Group.
They stick together and they cheer for each other whenever one of them is doing well, and it's just a fantastic community.
Yeah, sure.
They seem to have in Malta.
If you're thinking of coming to Malta, do try and join that group on Facebook. It's a really friendly group called Malta Poker Fish, and we'll let you in, and you can get involved. Some great stuff on there.
And look at that, Lazarova shoves all in with his king-4, gets a call from Yosifov, and we might be heads up, shoot a king-high hold. It's basically a flip, so 46% for Yosifov, but the first hand back, I don't know if they made a deal or not.
Yeah, I think what we had the heads up there, they all just peeled an extra grand, and now they're playing for 5,600. There's your 10.
Boom, that's a 10, so...
no death.
Needs a king. And a king only, 7. Yusifov looks in a very good position to double up here, and that's another 10 for good measure.
Just to
has
rub
the
it
full
in.
house, and up to 2.3 million now. Blinds are 80 and it's 160,000. Expect them to go up in about 10 minutes, so blinds are going up every 30 minutes now. Players are very shallow stacked. Our chip leader is Estonian Damitsa. Woo! With 23 big blinds. Lazarova just straight up trailing her with 22 big blinds and 3.6 million. And Yosifov, after that double up, still the shortest stack with 14 big blinds. But now any hand can be the last one.
Yeah, I think we need some gambling now. I mean, I'm happy to see smiles from Lazarova there. I probably think at this stage all players are fairly happy with what they've taken. They're all right gambling for 5K. Yeah, fair play to them.
Do you know who Lappin is? Is Lappin a member cat?
Yes, Lappin is a member of Malta Poker Fish. Yes, Lappin is David Lappin, another Irish pro. I just seem to be sniffing around Irish pros all the time.
Yeah, just to hang around them all the time.
Yeah, that's what happens post-Brexit. A lot of people with my accent are going to be trying to get in with the Irish. So that's been my GTO life strategy, is buddy up to the Irish. Yeah.
Hello, Jim, joining us.
Hi.
At the later stages of the tournament, we're still three-handed, playing for... The players have made a deal, having guaranteed themselves about 22 to 25,000 euros.
Yep.
And they're still playing for another 5,000 euros and the trophy, and to be a champion of MPN Poker Tour, Bulgaria Sunny Beach. One of the coolest events we've had. Absolutely. The weather has been perfect.
Yeah, I got sunburned.
Oh, I'm still sunburned from the first day here. My skin is just crawling. Tingly, yeah.
Yeah, she's at it again. And so she begins the cycle once more. With
Try to grind them down.
Those little raises with absolute bobbins, and gets it.
Hello to Snickster as well from Germany.
Yeah, we don't mind a bit of shouting in this
Not at
chat
all.
room, Schnickster. We're pretty chill, aren't we? I mean, the MPN chat is pretty chilled out. So
Caps up, flare on, bobbins.
Bobbins is a very, very English phrase. Have you not heard that?
No.
Obviously, Marginov has heard that. I tell you, it can be used in a lot of ways, actually.
Give me an example.
Well, if
like a poker example where you can use bobbins.
A hand that's not very good.
It's
a bobbins. Absolute bobbins.
Okay.
Kind of nothing. I mean, it actually has something to do with sewing. I think it's something you roll cotton on. So I don't know why it's used for that. But yeah, utter bobbins would be just rubbish hand, like nothing good.
And I'm learning things doing the commentary with you. Now I know that instead of saying her or his, I can say per.
Ah, yes, we were talking about a non-gendered pronoun.
Chat, did you know that? Did you know that per is something that is...
Well, it's from English written American literature by an author called Marge Piercy, because we were discussing how Estonians struggle to use he and
because we don't have genders in our language.
And her, because there is one pronoun for a person irrespective of gender. And English does offer an example of that in the word per. But as I say, it's a literary word from a novel by Marge Piercy called Woman on the Edge of Time, which is an excellent novel for anyone. to read. It's really easy to read, and it's a really interesting story, especially if you like science fiction or fantasy or anything like that. Wow, they're not redealing again. Come on now, guys.
It looked like they agreed on a deal, but the tournament director wasn't there for that. So, tournament director needs to be present every time players want to make a deal. So let's see if they're gonna agree on the whatever they agreed on.
Yeah, to be honest, I mean, we're a bit stuck out the back here, and the rest of the team is well nuts deep in the beer. So we're a little bit at lost for the exact.
Yeah, the specifics of the deal that they agreed on.
But it will come to light. I'm not a huge fan of this. I mean, just call me a mad gambler. But at this point, I'm like, really? We're just we're peeling what?
Come on.
Peel 200 euros off it. Come on, let's just get our chips in.
Let's play.
Yeah. I think if you and I were on this table, Christian, there wouldn't be much deal talk, would there?
No, there would be aggressive poker play all the time,
sure.
And a lot of sweat and a lot of good time as well, I think. And I think these players are having a good time as well.
Sweat. Why are you sweating?
Because I'm exhausted from the chips I'm moving all the time.
I see. Right. Okay, from shoving in your 20 bigs.
I'm just randomly sweating.
Right. Okay. Lovely. Sexy. I'm really glad I'm sitting next to you. Has anyone got a towel?
You're not giving me a break today.
No, you know I love you.
I know.
If I didn't like you, I'd be really polite. That's you. If you ever see me
that's
calling someone sir or talking to them really politely, that means I don't like them. If I call them rude names and give them a slap round the ear, then I'd really like them. So
that's good to hear. Thank you. I like you as well.
There we go. Isn't that nice? Aren't we lovely? Isn't this friendly? Everyone in the chat, hold hands. Let's have a group hug.
Get your puke faces out. More likely. Yeah.
So cynical. There's always room for a bit of love.
And the players now are trying. The tournament director is finally here, trying to get the specifics of the deal out, what they want to make happen. Because when the tournament director is not there, someone can theoretically go and no, I didn't agree on that deal after they win or something. And
yeah. Plus, I think it's just
easier.
Jared's very strict rule as well. He's an experienced tournament director. He is not to be messed with, and his rule is pretty much nothing happens in my tournament without me having eyes on it. So,
yeah, and this is how you make sure that the tournament is under control and make sure that you are the one overseeing all the decisions made.
Absolutely, and it's vitally important that's the case, because when it all goes wrong, whoever's fault it is, it comes back to the TD. So
for sure.
A smart TD will have eyes and ears on as many corners of his sphere as he possibly, or she possibly can.
Dark Angel says that if I threaten to slap your legs or punch you, I like you. Slap your legs, is that a thing?
Didn't you have that when you were a child? Your mum used to slap the back of your legs. Oh, are you in the generation where it was illegal to hit children?
No, definitely not. But it doesn't mean I got beaten every day. But
not beaten, a slap on the back of the legs. It's short, it's sharp. It hurts enough to calm you down, when you're getting out of line as a kid.
No. I think it's just two very different parts where we grew up, Estonia and UK. Just being in a very different point of their...
Well, when you least expect it later on at the bar, I will give you a short, sharp smack to the legs.
All right.
You will live a little portion of my childhood. And we'll feel closer. It'll be like we're brother and sister then.
And Dark Angel definitely enjoys that as well.
I told you, she's a feisty lady. She says I'm scary, but I wouldn't mess with her. Oh, hello. Deal decided. Jack's all in.
Jack's?
Well, no, he can't go all in now, can he?
I think he's going to raise.
Well, he has to, because if he's small opening his weaker hands, then he absolutely has to does it with his monsters, doesn't he?
So let's see if he can find someone with another hand, because you want action with Jacks. I mean, three-handed.
Oh, we
Boom.
found it. We don't know.
Boom! That's an all-in from the Estonian. It's snap call. We might be heads up. Could it be?
8.
Fomitsa has 8. And Fomitsa needs to hit an 8 to eliminate Yosifov. But it doesn't look like that. Yosifov is in a very good situation with his pocket jacks. 4, 5, and a queen. All spades. A bit slower, dealer, please. And
yeah.
no, ace and a king gonna turn in a river, and jacks hold up.
They do,
which
so we
means
remain three-handed.
Fomitsa, who has crawled up to 3.5 million, is now back down to 1.3 million, back down to 8 big blinds, and Yosifov now is our chip leader. I think all 3 of these players have at some point held the chip lead. Richard is feeling generous today.
I know, we are getting... I don't know if he's feeling generous or whether they're just trying to reduce the cost, taking stuff on the way home. Yeah, Beata's nodding. Yeah, they're just trying to get it into a certain number of boxes.
We're getting some cool
merch.
stuff.
Yeah,
I love the merch. This is my favorite part.
We do love a bit of merch. Everyone loves the merch.
Everyone loves the merch. I don't know what that was.
Well, we can't really say what it was. We're ripping off a market-leading brand there, so we'll just move swiftly on.
I agree. I just put my hat on and...
Cease and desist notice from another operator. Stop ripping off our content.
No.
Dear, super. I love you too, Donna. What does this little face mean? Do you know?
I'm getting annoyed by it because it looks like they're charging me for some reason. This face, it looks like, what are you doing?
Oh, I see.
What are you on about there?
Is it laughing? Yeah, because Donna's put.
It looks like they're very much charging me.
And then like a weird little face. So is she joking? That's hurtful, Donna. I don't know what it means.
Chat, let us know.
Help us out, chat.
Get us up to a point. What does it mean? What does it all mean?
What is the meaning of life?
The internet. So still 300. Stop it. Now you're playing with us.
They are just
putting random stuff. And
we brought this on ourselves.
Fomitsa's turn now. 8 big blinds. Didn't work out with the 8s.
Vu.
The short stacks have been very strong with doubling up. Folds the 9-3. Lazarova with 6-2 suited. Let's see if she decides to call here. Does call, and I think Yosifov will check, and we will see a flop after a while. Oh, it's just a lull. If we put a cursor on top of it, we learn every day. How many times have we done this Twitch thing and we still don't know that?
So what's the one that looks like a pot of chocolate underneath?
That's
by Putin the bear.
Force and Omega, whatever that is.
I have to see. This is not helping us now, is it?
Force and Sambul. But that's a kappa, dude, isn't it? Like the kappa sign.
Is it? I have no idea. Putin
we should
the bear,
stop.
Come on,
we just show.
You seem to know what you're doing. Will you help us out in a non-trolling fashion? Tell us what these mean. Be kind. Be kind to the 28-year-old kid and his mother that are here in the chat booth. Oh wow! And now I've got an MPN
more
cap.
merch. Yes, thank you very much,
I'm
Richard.
going to be so MPN PT branded on the plane home.
Same here, but they are the most comfortable and the water bottle.
Water bottle as well. This is.
I
Amazing.
have everything now.
Yeah.
I don't need.
There is no more. I'm going to take a selfie. Should we take a merch
wait,
selfie?
Wait. Let me put on this cap.
Take off your non-MPN cap. That's a disgrace. What are you doing?
I agree.
See, mine's not on properly because of my head. Ow,
Wait, sorry. Did I hit you? Sorry, I didn't mean to hit you.
We've got to the stage where we're just fighting with each other now. Oh, hello. Look, we've got a hand. Let's see what's happening here.
Oh, yeah, there's poker going on, isn't there?
Oh.
As if with ace queen.
was never going anywhere, was it? Oh,
wait, I need to show the MPN.
We're rubbish at this.
Wait. One more.
Oh, you're so vain. It's ridiculous. Good stuff. I will tweet that out now, guys, so you can see how ridiculous the two of us look
And
here.
finally, we have a picture together as well.
Sure.
We haven't had one since Mazagan.
No, we
of
haven't.
us commentating together. The
Sure.
picture takers, they don't want to come back here
No.
for some reason. So now we have a picture I can put on my
Amazing.
Instagram because I'm an Insta kid.
Yeah, okay. Well, if you go on Twitter, then you can lift it off my Twitter page.
Yeah.
Because I like words. She says as she's about to tweet a picture.
Because I love words. Oh, yeah. Oh, you.
Oh, you. Oops. something sounded expensive. So the next MPN guarantee is now down to just 100k, thanks to Rich breaking everything.
So Putin Bear says Omega Lul means laughing louder than lol. It's like maximum lul. And there's an all-in happening as well.
Oh, hello, hello.
It's most likely going to be a split pot, but
You've just jinxed it.
as long as there's not a deuce or a four, this is going to get chopped up. Or running spades.
For a sweat.
Spade for a deuce. That's a 9 of hearts.
Chaparoonie.
We will chop it up.
Everybody is moderately impressed by a chop pot.
For Mitsa, blinds have gone up to 100,000 and 200,000, ante 30,000 now. So we are getting super shallow. For Mitsa with 5 big blinds only. Needs to make something happen with his 1.1 million stack, which seems like a lot, but at this stage it's not. Oh, Twitch chat, thank you so much. You're explaining me everything
these
about.
guys are amazing.
Yeah, you guys have been staying with us the whole day, and you have been cool as always. The MPN crowd is just the best.
They always are.
Yeah,
Online,
I agree.
live. It is definitely one of the most relaxed large brand poker streams, I have to say. The chat pretty much have free reign. So,
Job.
to a point, obviously.
I'm just covered with merch.
You
There's a
are-
mountain of merch on top of
you
me, and
are
I'm happy.
merch man.
I'm like a small little troll sitting on top of my gold and being happy.
My precious.
Yes, 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 yes. For Mitsa, is he going to go all in? I would say yes. 5.5 big blinds, no. He doesn't agree with me. Lazarova does
What?
call, and
Uh-oh.
a couple of strong hands up against each other. Now Lazarova with 18 big blinds against Josifov with 22 big blinds. And this is somewhere where I wouldn't mind a shout. Against 18 big blinds, and he goes for a raise one more time. It's the most stressful chat I've been in for a long, long time. What do you mean, Dark Angel? What do you mean? Who is stressing you out?
That cannot be true. I've been present in some of the streams in which Donna is a mod, and I definitely think that is not a truthful statement from Miss Dark Angel there.
And look at that, Lazarova does limp fold this queen, her queen 10.
Yes, thank you,
Gets away.
J4M5150. I don't love chop pots. I want to wait. Thank you.
I'm getting up.
No,
Yeah, I'm
he's
getting to that
he's
point as well.
absolutely right. Or he or she is absolutely right. No one likes a chop pot. Chop pots are rubbish. I want to win it. Go home.
I stand corrected. One of the no stressful. She meant no stressful,
Oh,
not
sorry.
stressful.
Yeah,
Unstressful.
yeah, of course. Yeah.
I'm sorry, Dark
Yeah.
Angel. I
Thanks,
agree with you there.
5-5.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
We're pretty chill.
We're
We're pretty.
That's probably the amount of alcohol we've consumed. That is helping. Yes. Thank you, 5FM, Piano Cats, and Dark Angel. We are reading the Twitch chat in a very small type font. We need to make that. His contact lenses are popping out, and I'm 40 years old. I mean, you know, the size of this type is difficult for us.
Cracker is just
The misread.
cracking.
I love it.
Ooh, Yosifov goes all in, and another
Uh-oh.
dominating hand calls. And is it really gonna be another small stack who will double up? It doesn't look like that. It's a flip now. Spade or a 3, and that's a spade. We finally lose another player. We lose Estonian in 3rd place. It was a long time coming. It kind of looked at some point that he got some things going, got up to 3.5 million. 10, this hand with 8 against jacks happened, didn't manage to hit an 8, was down to 6 big blinds, and now we lose him in 3rd place.
Super well played for Mitsa. That is a 22k cash for him today. He has provided some of the most head-scratching, baffling moments that I've ever seen in poker, and it shows when you can see people's whole cards. It's just evidence that you've got no idea what's going on.
You got no idea
when
what's
you're
going on.
playing. No.
Absolutely.
So really interesting.
So we are finally.
Going for another peel deal.
It looks like it. They're
Alrighty.
at least considering it, talking about it. We're heads up for the title, for the trophy. And for another extra 5K, and I think they want to peel something off of that as well. Chris, meanwhile, says that Christian Last getting people drunk since 1989. Chris, this is why you're one of my best friends. You know me, but in this case you are wrong, because I have no power over Kat. She does whatever she wants, and nothing I will say will make her do anything different. She's a strong, independent woman, and she gets drunk if she wants to, and she won't if she doesn't want to.
That is true, but you definitely were.
Having said that, I've been an influence there. At least.
After all that politically correct waffle, you basically rocked up here with a tray full of drinks. So, I mean, there's definitely an influence there. So the guys obviously just gone to a quiet corner there to talk about chopping up what I can only assume is the remaining 5,600 euros as they all peel
at least
an extra
part
grand.
of it.
Yeah.
So they did chop everything off. So Yosifov gets 2.9 of that 5,000, and Lazarova gets 2.1 of that 5,000.
And now it's flipped for the trophy.
Which means, I'm not sure. I think they're going to play for the glory, and they're going to play it out. They're going to sweat it out.
Oh, really?
I guess so. People do want that trophy.
Yeah,
so
well, we said that before. It's always nice to have, you know. When your friends come round and say, oh, well, I don't play poker because it's just gambling, you can show them a trophy.
Yeah.
And say, well, you could have one of these.
You can have one of these, and also you can show them the money.
Good luck, Lazarova, says Piano Cat. Yeah, the chat have been pretty Lazarova-focused for the last few hours.
Absolutely.
Is there a cut for the winner? There certainly is.
You will see it soon enough. I think they're going to get it on the table as well.
Gerald will be fishing that out.
But I don't think it's going to take a long time for them to...
It can't do, really, can it? We've
got
47 blinds in play. So.
Yeah, and I think both of these players are fairly aggressive as well. So I expect Lazarova to put the pressure on, and Yosifov to act accordingly. And I think it kind of comes down to who gets a better cause and who kind of get luckier. I think they're both very capable, strong players. They've already chopped up all the money they could. Both of these players take down close to 26,000, if I remember correctly. So quite a nice payday for both of them.
Absolutely. Good money in the
Sick
bank.
story for Lazarova, as well as Yosifov, but Yosifov hasn't been down to one big blind. Lazarova has made it all the way to heads up, and now only has Yosifov and two Bulgarians battling it out on their home turf. Good luck. I don't know where they are, though, but at some point they will be here.
Maybe just a quick pee break. I think that would be reasonable. Just take a 5-minute breather while they're waiting.
I would like to do that.
The original payouts for first, second and third, that is a very good question, and I can answer it. It was 35k for first, 22k for second, and 17k for third. So 57, 67, that's 75 grand. So they've basically ended up with the top three prizes equally divided between the top three players, with a slight weight towards Lazarova, and that was purely because when the original big money deal was done four-handed, she was the chip leader. So she took about just under 24k in the original chop. So she's slightly ahead, and the busted player took the smallest amount, but there or thereabouts they've ended up chopping the top three prizes fairly equally between them. So.
Yeah, and they made the original deal 4 ways, so that makes it even better for them, pretty much sharing the top three prizes.
Yes, it was poor old Bostock who unfortunately just had a bit of a gross few orbits and couldn't recover, despite really not making any mistakes. It's just the way the
Bostock,
game goes.
He played fantastically, and he took down 15,500 for his effort, so not a bad payday.
And a well-deserved amount of cash there.
Yeah.
If you want, you can sit and play. I love it. So, no, we're not even having the original players back. We're going to get their mates instead. I love it. We can always hear Mr. Retamaro anywhere with his big Spanish voice.
Mr. You're referring Gerard. To the tournament director here.
Okay, you sit and you play. I was a little bit more Super Mario than Spanish tournament director, but...
So, do you have any, good impressions you can make?
I'm not very good at impressions. I just do accents. Yeah.
So we heard your an Eastern European or a Russian accent.
My slightly
You're
offensive.
German, which was awesome.
Yes. Okay.
Is there anything else without being very?
Well, I do quite a full range of accents from the British Isles, so pretty much all the regional accents. I don't know if anyone wants to try me out. One that particularly amused Heimar earlier was the Crown accent. So
Crown accent.
I can, if required, talk like the Queen, and he quite liked that. I think people from other countries do quite enjoy the Queen voice.
So, chat, do you have any requests for Kat to do some accents? Any specific accents, without getting rude?
The original number of the field was 311.
311 players
Absolutely
paid
right.
550 euros. And we're down to 2.
Heads up photo. That's when you, at this point in your poker day, you are super happy that you made such an effort with your appearance, I would say. She's got a superb outfit on. Her hair looks absolutely on point.
It looks awesome,
yeah,
the outfit.
she's going to look amazing in that heads up photograph.
Oh, yeah. Proper Yorkshire.
Oh, proper Yorkshire. I can do that. I lived with the Yorkshiremen for about 5 years, so yes.
Holy moly. That is amazing.
There's quite a few Yorkshire accents. I mean, that's kind of more a Sheffield accent. And then you got Leeds, which is like a bit squeaky, you know. So there is different accents in the northwest. So lots of Yorkshire. But I don't know if they fool the locals. I mean, if you took my Yorkshire accent to the south, they'd go for it, I reckon.
All right, we're going down to Africa. Nigerian accent. Can you do that one?
It's a tricky one. The only thing I can even approximate in Nigerian accent is there is a pigeon in your bank account, and that is from a British comedy sketch show. And I don't even know the character, what the point of it was, but they used to phone people up and just say there is pigeon in your bank account, and so that's as close as I can get to anywhere from Nigeria.
Absolutely brilliant.
Oh,
can you do Blackburn?
No, Blackburn is too close to Manc. So if I do Blackburn, I end up in Manchester. So not so good. No, Blackburn's a tricky one because that's a really, really niche regional accent. So, and plus I'm from the south, and honestly, north of Watford to most southerners sounds the same. So, is that where you're from, Julie? I'm guessing that's where Julie's from, because I thought she was from Manchester. So I'm guessing she's actually from Blackburn. So it just proves I can't really even hear the difference between Blackburn and Manchester. Game face on, guys. Here we go. 17 blinds versus 30 big blinds.
We are playing for the trophy now. The beautiful MPN coveted trophy. So very short stacks. 2 strong players and a lot of reason to gamble. The money has been sorted out. The money has been already given out.
Yep, this is a pure trophy tournament now. Trophy and the glory.
And the glory. And of course, you don't want to be... No one remembers the second place finisher.
No.
In a way, everybody remembers
cold.
the...
Cold.
But it is true.
It may be true, but...
In most cases, no one remembers the second place finisher, but they tend to remember the winners. So you want to take it down if you've already made it to heads up. Even if you're not playing for more money, you still want to take this one down. Well, we have some dude with a wife beater on. Is that what
That'll be Nick Diaz, surely. Yeah. He is the man for the vests. He's been all over the vests.
How do you call? We call them micas. What's the proper name for the shirt?
The correct term would just be
not,
vest,
not the wife beater.
But yeah, but I guess wife beater is an internationally recognised term.
I guess, yeah, you know, I kind of feel shamed for yeah. Anyway, blinds are 100 and 200,000.
Wow.
No antes anymore, heads up.
No, of course not, which is always nice.
And Yosifov puts on the pressure, raises it up against the limp from Lazarova with 5-3 suited, and Lazarova has none of it.
Interesting. I'm not sure how I feel about that 17 bigs, but oh, hello.
Interesting, and 4-7 and a queen, so pair of 7, no. A gut shot straight draw for Yosifov with a backdoor flush draw, and Lazarova still ahead with 9 high, but doesn't feel very strong
no,
at that
it's hard to believe you're good with 9 high, and it's very difficult for her to make any moves on the board, really.
Chris says that only person who remembers the second place is the one who got first place.
It's a good way of thinking it, yeah.
Yeah. So 3 million against 6 and a 6.6 million. And the first hand goes for Yosifov with a very aggressive route he took with 5-3 and made it happen.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure how I feel about
Yeah, that seems like
play there. Honestly, I don't even mind if you just open ship 17 bigs with 8-9 of spades.
Yeah,
you get it through so often, and if they call you, they're big enough that 8-9 of spades plays decently, and hey, let's do this. But this is possibly back to me just being a crazy gambler again. But I'm not sure I like the limp call of a raise with 9 high.
I would like a limp shove even more than a limp call.
I mean, with 17 bigs, fair enough. You got 200 bigs, then I don't.
These are the perfect hands to balance it out with against your strong hands.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yosifov with Jack 7 offsuit this time. Contemplating his action. Looks like a raise. Let's see what he decides on will be his standard. 450, so puts in the extra 50,000 on top of that min raise. Gets a fall from Lazarova. And that's the thing with being so short stacked. You lose a couple of small pots and all of a sudden you're down to 13 big blinds and you're in that all-in fold territory.
Sure. I mean, I love that territory. I can't lie, Chris. That's kind of my favourite place to be. I find it really easy poker. It's one of the few elements of poker that you can almost learn by rote.
It is, in a way it is easy, but it's awful to be there when you're getting just crap cards.
True.
9 deuce every time. Then it's just, you feel like, no, I want to die now. But it's still only been 2 hands of heads up. Anything is still very much possible, especially with those short stacks and 7-3 offsuit now from Lazarova.
Oh, okay. She's going for limping everything, which changes what I thought about her before. If she's just going to limp everything, I don't hate that at all.
Yosifov checks his option with Queen 10.
Having raised it with 5-3, I like it. Why not be completely opposite poker?
7-6 and a 2 means that Lazarova somehow manages to flop top pair with his 7-3 offsuit. Yosifov still has 2 overcards.
Yeah, when he sat there with Queen 10 and she's limped, I mean, in most places she is hitting that board. So I'm surprised to see him bet there, because I definitely think she has the advantage given...
I disagree there. I
really?
think that Yosifov being checked back has more of those raggy cards in his range than Lazarov, who just calls, because...
Oh, yeah, from her point of view, maybe, but from him, when he's looking at Queen 10...
Oh, yeah, for sure, then you're blocking all of that.
So I'm just surprised that he is betting.
So 9 of diamonds gives Yosifov a straight draw as well as his 2 overcards. So any 8, any 10, or any queen would give him the better hand on the river, and that's a very good card to just size up a river bluff shove, I think. Okay. 9 is a very scary looking card. So all the 6s, all the 2s, maybe even some 7s start feeling very uncomfortable when that 9 comes, because all the 9-8s, 9-10s, 10-8s, 8-5s hit it. All the semi-bluffs pretty much hit it. And the only thing that does not hit it is complete bluff that Yosifov has, which is not often at all.
No, definitely not.
Lazarova is from Bulgaria. Both of these players are local.
Yes, and I see now that the green in the flag appears to have gradiated slightly more. I don't know if that's my eyes or if someone's actually worked on that.
Yeah, the flags are looking way better now. So 425 from Yosifov, and Lazarova is not going anywhere. I don't like the sizing from Yosifov. I would have liked to see something like 525 to size up a river shove. And 3 gives Lazarova 2 pairs, so should Yosifov shove, it's not going to work, because Lazarova has 2 pair now. No diamond on the river as well, so what looks like a very safe card for Lazarova.
Yeah, I think that's a reasonable give up from Yosifov there. If she has more chips, maybe he can just go for that balls out treb, and he's just got unlucky she's 2 paired, because it's really scary if she doesn't make that 2 pair for her. But given her stack, I don't think there's much room for manoeuvre with Yosifov there, and I agree with his just give it up.
And what I've seen from Lazarova, she's gonna go for something like 650,000, which I can't say I hate, but it just looks strong. Let's see how much she decides to go for. Looks like only 300. No, She's gonna grab a bit more, but she has gone for this like 1/3 sizing with a very strong hand.
And an
We don't.
instant fold.
Yeah, it looked more like something like 800k, but
Oh, okay. Well, those dark brown ones, I think they're
100K
Ks.
each.
Yeah. So yeah, it did look quite a sizable bet.
so evens up the chip stacks a little bit. 18 big blinds against 29 big blinds now. Dark Angel, thank you so much. You're very sweet. We have enjoyed having you around as well the whole day.
Always great to have Donna in the chat.
Absolutely.
Oh, now it begins. We've now got the MPN guys sniffing around trying to take our merch back.
Ooh.
Oh, they give with one hand and they take
it away.
Wow.
They giveth and they taketh.
Wow.
At least I still get to keep my
Keep
hoodie.
the hoodie. Yeah.
But to be fair, they brought me beer instead. So
that's a winning swap.
That's an alright swap for me. I mean,
Yeah.
how can I say no for a beer?
Yeah, you keep drinking your beer because we've got our fish party game to play yet, so I'm happy to see
Oh
that
yeah,
beer's going
I'm
down.
looking forward for it so much.
Yeah, you keep necking the beard, darling. I like a shove here. I just like putting the pressure on. Get it shoved. You know? Start being aggressive.
You see, Phil is thinking about calling here with ace-3. Meanwhile, Hamer was being funny. Hamer, our producer, was being very funny.
We have to share Hamer's joke there. That is funny.
Hamer, just I'll leave you up to it.
He just showed us a note on his phone that said they have a new deal. They've decided to chop the trophy. And it made us lol. Yes, Hamer is a good source of comedy. Or, as we like to call him by his rapper name, Lil.
Lil.
He's
Or Lil
Lil.
Hamer is
Yeah.
good enough. Good as well, but Lil is Hamer's proper rapper name. Google him. He's an aspiring rap artist and as well as a poker producer, so...
And that's rap spelt with a C at the front of it.
Thank you so much, truly, for the kind words as well. 900k in the middle somehow, with Lazarova having a pair of
Having the best
fives
of it.
and takes it down.
Yeah, the 900k was due to the open and the call, and this is why. I mean, again, it's back to Cat being a degen, but I'm just, if I'm Yosifov there with an ace, I am getting it in for 20 bigs. Let's go, lady. You want to play me? You play me.
True
because
that.
she has proved that she is dangerous in these small ball pots. She is comfortable with small ball poker.
Yeah.
I really suspect she may be a cash player somewhere because tournament players do tend to take bigger options.
She's
so
way too comfortable in these situations to be a legit recreational. I mean, she could be a recreational player, but she knows what she's doing.
yeah, she's a serious recreational. I'm definitely suspicious of her being a dealer as well in the past, even if she's not now. Her chip handling's just quite efficient, the way she's picking up chips. Like you say, she's so comfortable in the environment. I don't want to play small ball pots with her because she would be beating me. And he must feel that. She has beaten him so hard in these small pots. He really should be playing his chip stack. She
plays almost exactly, yeah, I mean, I can't find any flaws. I mean, I would do some things differently, but the way she's doing them, it adds up with her whole strategy. So it's just fantastic.
Absolutely. No, I'm a little bit in love with Lazarova after today. She's my new poker hero. She's quality.
Absolutely, yeah. She has made a fan in me.
Oh, we have some information from Marginov, who is a source of information for us today.
Yeah.
He says Lazarov is a semi-pro, okay, and her boyfriend is a pro. So they probably have quite a good environment at home then of studying
They have been playing a lot of
and
heads-up together, it
working
looks like it, because their heads-up game is on point. By all those calls and all those... I love the fact that even three-handed she started limping buttons, which all the stronger players do as well, and it's just a sign of someone who is experienced in short stack poker.
Here we go. Yeah, she's a pro player. She's never been a dealer. She's a pro player. She's a spin and go pro. Instant answer
exactly.
to all the small ball
Instant
pots.
answer.
Boom. Thank you very much for that in-sync flow.
So ever since we made it three-handed, she has been very comfortable.
Yeah, and there we go. There we go.
Ooh,
She
and
plays 300 heads
now
up all the time
everybody at
before
chat
she does.
already knows that, oh yeah, she's a known heads up and 3-handed player. Where were you back then when we asked you first?
Yeah, come on, Wacky
Nah,
Jackson. That's
yeah.
actually your job, mate. Like, the guys in the chat, they're just our friends. They're here,
Yeah,
you know.
now the martyr has gone out
Yeah.
with the information that
Now one of the
and now everybody knows
I
all of a
know.
sudden.
Senior editors of Poker News coming late to the game. I don't know. Blimey.
Not giving up free info.
Yeah, she's
You think you're
vicious.
funny. Oh, we were in the Facebook chat.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, well, the Facebook chat knows.
Yeah, we were in the wrong place. We should have had a Facebook chat open. Honestly, I think having 2 chat rooms open would have maxed us out. I'm glad we didn't do that.
You just can't orient in that amount of information.
Can't.
Can't.
Yeah, say it a little bit more like that for my comfort, if that's all right. Yeah.
Sorry.
You said it to me earlier. You said you can't, and you nearly got a crack round the head, but then I made allowances for the Estonian accent. Yeah, we're not allowed to say that word on stream. You can't say that word.
I can't.
There you go. Say it American style.
Yeah.
That's fine. Yeah, no problemo.
I'm just gonna stick with the American accent.
Yeah, go for the American accent.
I don't think even nobody noticed, but now that you've said it, I'm gonna. Everybody notices it.
My mum watches this stream. You want to watch your language?
Yeah.
There's a conversation happening between Chris and Heimer, and I have no idea what's going on.
I'm the provider for Heimer for,
for
everything
cigarettes.
he needs, but at the same time, he's my boss, so I can't say no.
Oh, wow.
It's an interesting dynamic.
Yeah, that sounds a bit like you're...
They're the one supposed to pay me, but I'm the one giving them all my stuff. My heart and my soul. And my friendship.
Very good, Putin the bear. Very good. What have we started? I apologise, that's my fault. I've started a deluge of can't.
That would be a good drinking game, all the words that I mispronounce. And in my village, I'm the best English speaker. So
Your English is perfect. The better drinking game would be me trying to pronounce Estonian words, because it would be 0. I would have a 0% hit rate on that.
You can say one word now, at least.
I've already forgotten it, though.
Rebane.
Rebane. Oh, yeah.
You're doing good.
Rebane.
Rebane. So
Rebane.
Jack 2 says 7 out of flop. Yosifov's King High still being good. Checked around, but
Boom, there it is,
Lazarov hits the 8 on the turn and takes the lead with his pair of 8s and a 4 kicker.
Yeah, she is looking good. And if as the new information, as we've just learnt from our beloveds in the Twitch chat, she's a Spin and Grow Pro. She is going to know these spots like nobody else.
Through and through.
Look at this. It kind of explains that super epic double sex fest value bet.
That's exactly what I thought about at this same moment.
It's all making a lot of sense now.
Everything makes a lot more sense.
Yeah.
She's in no ways lost in any spot there.
No, no, no.
But Yosifov is the one with the chip lead, so Lazarov still has a lot of work to do.
Yes, Cracker Cannibal, we're all pretty chilled. I mean, Chris has got yellow shorts on.
Yeah.
I'm wearing a sundress. We don't have airs and graces on this tour. The MPN PT Tour is chilled AF. Nobody needs to dress up.
And this is how we like it here.
Yeah, sure. That's people come in. I'm wearing flip-flops. You're wearing flip-flops.
And in the end, there's like 30 degrees outside. You want to feel comfortable, especially when we're sitting here for 10 hours as well.
Sure. He's gone for what is probably, now I know what I know about her.
Boom.
I don't fancy his chances.
Boom.
Oh,
and
I'm
Yosifov
so wrong.
shows that he has some moves as well. It's not going to be easy.
He's got the moxie.
Job for Lazarova, and when you're down to 13 big blinds, no matter how good you are, you're going to need to get some run of cards or some lucky situations, because 13 big blinds is not enough.
Yeah, because, the thing about a spin and go tournament is that you are unlikely to have that situation. I mean, okay, very early on, if you have one of those crazy ones where somebody's knocked out first hand, but you're usually more closely stacked. I mean, if you've got 13 bigs at this kind of stage, your opponent's probably got 17 bigs. So there is probably a bigger gap in the sizes of stacks than a three-handed player would play.
Yeah.
I wonder if she's played any of the Fish Party live and crushed souls there as well.
I would guess she has.
Yeah, I'd be giving her all my tickets. And
I wish she would be our third player so we could...
get beaten.
Yeah, get beaten and
Yeah.
Be up for the challenge
Yeah.
to actually play against the Crusher.
Yeah, that's true. I would love to play her heads up. I'd learn so much.
I have to brag, I have sick win rate with fish parties. I haven't played many, I have played like a couple hundred, but I have more than 50% win rate there.
Wow.
I have a sick, I'm on a sick hitter with the fish parties.
Okay, what stake do you like to play?
And like €5 ones.
The €5
yeah.
ones, okay.
But it's still, I've been learning them and I've been running hot and it's just, they're not very tough as well. I mean, they're tough because they're shot stacked, but...
No, it's fair enough. I mean, I don't have much skill in that format. It's something I've been playing a little bit more recently on the basis that I needed to improve my heads up, and I just thought that was a quick way to start, to get some beginner experience, learn those more simple
Especially
ranges.
if you want some short-handed experience
Yeah.
and you don't want to pay your whole bankroll for it, then that's a very good way of getting it. Because when you play tournaments, you rarely get to short-handed play.
Sure, large field, which is my favourite. You're absolutely right. Oh, hello.
But I am very well aware of how well I've ran for this couple hundred tournaments. It is in no way maintainable win rate to have like even close to 50%. 40% is crushing it, absolutely crushing it. 35% is doing well. But Yosifov now,
Oh.
ace queen
Is
suited.
he going to be tricky?
Let's see if Lazarova
No.
did just call. Yosifov raised to what is a standard for him, 3.5 big blinds. Yosifov has been playing well as well. There's nothing bad I can say about his play. I mean, Lazarova has kind of stolen the show, but Yosifov has done nothing wrong here.
Yeah.
He has been a very solid, strong player with definitely some moves. I love his sizings most of the time, so nothing bad to say again for him as well. So definitely deserving of his chip lead.
Yeah, I mean, his style game, I would say, is less on point. You know, the outfit, the hair, she's TV ready.
Yeah.
In a way that Yosifov maybe just didn't expect. I suppose you don't necessarily just get up the morning of the final day of the tournament and just assume, yeah, I'm definitely going to be the second place or winner of this tournament. I do think the Platinum Casino might want to look at getting themselves some different cards there. I don't know why they're not using the MPN cards, actually, because I was dealing with those
because
yesterday.
they get sticky?
Yeah, well,
You can't. You need to use the ones that have the microchip in it.
Oh, of course,
So,
yeah, sorry.
because
yeah,
of the
that's
final
just me
table,
being
so
silly. Yeah, they are thicker, actually, and if you're not used to dealing with those cards, they do feel weird.
I
and they
have
are
seen
annoying.
dealers struggle with them because
Yeah.
they are a little bit thicker. You've made your whole life to deal with very similar cards, and then
Yeah.
all of a sudden a little bit of a change,
Yeah.
it just might throw you off a little bit.
They are not easy cards to slide deal. I would have just been pitching those if I was dealing here, just for my own sanity. So,
Charm.
who cares about his dressing? Let's watch poker. Just because I'm a bit of a style monkey, really, to be honest, Martaj. I'm always interested in how people present themselves. And I absolutely love the way Lazarova is dressed and her style. I just think it's cool. It's a girl thing, dude. I don't know what to tell you.
I don't think he was calling you up there. We were just talking about the camera guy, maybe being a little undressed.
Yeah. And everyone's in holiday mode. This has been the most holiday-ish event I've
it's the
attended.
almost mid of July,
Yeah.
and
You can feel it.
you can feel it. You can feel it.
Wow, that's 90s. That's some old school.
Do you know
pop
how he got
tunes.
famous? He was a taxi driver for Richard Branson randomly. Phil Collins. Richard Branson got on his taxi when he was taxi driving, and he recognized Richard Branson, and he was like, "You need to listen to my mixtape I made," and he played him the "I Can Feel It in the Air Tonight."
Wow.
And Branson was like, and he drove. He pretty much was in the taxi. He drove Branson to his mother. His mother made him some food, and he played him his mixtape. And Branson was, "All right, come to my studio. Let's make it
I see.
happen." And this is how Phil Collins happens. That is weird, isn't it? He was like 40 back then. It's a late bloomer and sick story.
Wow, yeah. I did not know that at all.
Yeah. So that was the first song he had ever made, like, independently as well. I can feel it in there.
There we go. It's a little bit of pop culture
Pop
from
culture
the
is my
commentator,
thing.
Chris. Yeah, see, it's just the opposite of my thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, no good. I'm pretty good at, if we're in a pub quiz team, I'm pretty good on literature, a little bit of history, philosophy, some of the humanities generally.
I'm awful at that, so we would make a nice
We're making
team.
all right. Yeah, sure. Oh, hello.
Ooh, Lazarova with pocket kings. Raising it up to 4-3 call-in. I like that. She has been calling every single hand,
She
so
has.
so
There we go.
why not do
Limping
it with the
strategy
kings
kicks
as
in.
well? And she has been getting raised against quite often as well.
Yes, it's just unfortunate for that. He has been raising her fairly wide, so
Ooh, what a flop. Kind of just a bit of too strong of a flop.
yeah, it's a shame that, isn't it?
King, queen, queen flops the absolute nizzles, and unfortunately for her, Yosifov just has nothing to play with.
No.
So what do? Do you still just check back and hope?
I think I'd probably bet here because you have to remind him that you can bet with bluffs. I mean, she's just unlucky. He literally has absolutely none of it. He can probably even think about calling her there like Jack high. Seriously.
True that.
You know,
True that.
he's got 7-3. So yeah, I like the bet because she's not always going to have the absolute stones, and she needs to be betting turns when she doesn't. So fair play.
Fair play indeed. It's just another hand that feels like a waste. And
It feels
how
like that
often do you
sometimes.
flop full houses, and you kind of want to get something at least from that, but that is not the right mindset to have, isn't it? You need to be playing your strong hands and weak hands similarly.
And I think it's fair to say that nobody can accuse Lazarova of not doing that. I mean, she is absolutely beasted. Not even just three-handed. I mean, she's beasted three-handed, but actually she was playing pretty well.
Yeah, yeah.
She
But
was
you
a
can
little bit-
definitely see her like soaring or like feeling more comfortable the more players busted and the more short-handed we were. And she's definitely feeling comfortable. And I think that's part of the reasons they're still playing here. And they haven't just put it all in. She feels confident enough that she can win this one. So why not try and take this one down?
Yeah, she doesn't
and
need
we
to
are
take the gamble.
super small short stack now. Blinds have gone up to 150 and 300,000. Who would have thought that we would still be playing, but we are.
Yeah, I
and
don't
it's an
recall.
interesting match to watch as well. I think usually when the deal has been made and they just playing for trophy, I can't wait for it to be over and just come on, let's put it in. I still want it to happen, but it's an interesting match to watch. Both players are playing very well, and I'm kind of fascinated about Lazarova. And finally, we get the trophy on the table as well. Doesn't mean that they are ready to finish this one off.
Yeah, that might be Gerard's way of saying, I'm ready to have a beer, guys.
Yes, please.
Yeah, ship it, chop it, whatever. Let's go. I mean, they're kind of lucky that they're both locals, really, because that is a hefty trophy. I don't think I'd get that back.
Do you know
through,
how do they like send it with a package, because you can't put it in your luggage?
And I honestly couldn't answer that question.
But that is a beautiful MPN trophy,
It's great fun, isn't it?
and it's a big one. Etulo has a good point. The beach is 50 meters, even less meters away from the casino. That's a proper outfit.
Oh, yeah.
They're still going back on the outfit, but
Yesterday, in the break in the tourney I was playing, I went for a paddle in the sea. It was
Yeah.
amazing, so nice. It was lovely and warm. I love the sea here. It feels like a bath.
oh yeah, I googled how warm it is, and it was 26 degrees when I googled it. It
Amazing.
is very warm water, the Black Sea. So 22 big blinds against 9 big blinds, 3 million against 6.6. I feel like we've said it so many times. I mean, the chip count, 6.6 against 3 million. It has been either Lazarova or Yosifov with the 6.6, but we're back at this 2-1 chip advantage. Let's see if Yosifov can put some pressure on now. Well, if I'm Yosifov now, I want to see some shoves. Against 9 big blinds, there's no room to limp anymore. Just
No.
start putting some pressure on and make things happen.
I mean, I think if he knows he's playing a top spin and go pro,
Especially
then honestly, I'm not too worried about a limp. He needs to stop the open raising, the raising then folding, and that dealer needs to stop sliding those cards. It's tilting me max.
Yusifov ace queen. Now there's a chance to put your opponent to 8 big blinds, even if they fold and 8 big blinds is less than 9. Just dwindle her down.
Which is exactly what I did.
Wait, is that a misdeal?
No, I think he just said, oh, what?
Yes, it looks like a misdeal, and unfortunate one for Yusifov.
Pitch the cards, dealer. Just pitch him.
Just pitch him. So what do you mean? Is that like an old school way of dealing by just sliding it, or what's wrong with it?
I actually don't know which predates the other. The slide deal, there was a bit of a fashion for it, and it's considered the more skilled way of delivering cards to your player, and it is a little bit harder to master. And actually, if you can get it right, you've got a nice clean table and you've got the right cards, it looks super cool. I mean, it does, and if you can do it fast, like I've seen some of these top dealers that I know, they can absolutely whip those. They can deliver a 10-handed table in like 7 seconds. It's insane. But you need the right equipment, and if it's not designed for that purpose, it's almost impossible to achieve. And then it has the opposite effect. It looks really clunky. So the pitch deal is where you just peel it off the top, you hold it between your thumb and your index finger, and you just launch it at the player.
Okay.
And again, if you are good at it, again, I think the pitch deal looks super cool as well.
And I'm finding it hard to believe that Yusifov folded ace-queen. I think it's the last ace-queen still in the system.
Sure, yeah.
But I think Lazarova got a walk with ace-10, which must not feel good.
No, tilty when you've got 9 bigs.
Yeah. So, heads up against strong players. We are getting to that very small stack territory now. For Lazarova, 10 big blinds or less, and her opponent isn't doing that well as well. I mean, they're both doing well, but it's not like we're very deep stacked here.
No, I get the impression this is going to struggle to be over unless we get a cooler, because you know, she's clearly a 3-handed heads-up beast, and he's no fool. I mean,
both players want to play some flops and feel like they have the edge post-flop, and this is where sometimes these heads-up grinds just grind out for a long time.
Everybody hits a 10.
Everybody hits a 10. Yusifov with a straight draw and a better kicker, and that's now 2 pair for Yusifov. 10s and 7s. Lazarova can't really win the hand anymore. Can chop it with a jack 9 or an 8 on the river.
Or she can steal it.
Or she can steal it. I don't think that's going to work, though.
No, I don't. Unless we see a flat here and something really sticky on the river.
Something like a queen or a king on it.
Queen of spades, something like that.
Yeah, there are some rivers that you can barrel Yusifov off of, but this one won't work just yet. King might be one of the cards.
He didn't want to see the king.
No.
He may not give it up given her stack, but he did not want to see the king.
He does check, and let's see. Lazarova checks that.
I like her check there. She definitely should be good enough at showdown.
Leaves herself with 2.5 million, so about 8 big blinds, 8.5 big blinds.
That's a massive stack to a spin and go player. Massive stack.
That is, they see it kind of differently, don't they? Like 8 big blinds. Oh yeah, there's still plenty of room to play with.
There's an hour left in this tourney. What are you on about?
And in spin and goes, the blinds go up in every like 3 minutes or so. Now you have 30 minutes. There's a lot of wiggle room.
Yeah, it's a slightly slower dealing process, I guess. The mechanics of each hand takes slightly longer than you might expect in any online format.
But not 10 times longer.
No, that's true.
So still more than your regular sit and go.
Oh, just pitch the cards.
I love the fact that you're getting
I don't know, it's just tilted.
More and more tilted off the sliding.
I just wonder at what point a dealer just snaps and just says, right, no, I'm just throwing these at the players now. I've had enough of this.
You see,
hello.
calls, and now Lazarova finally has a strong hand. I think you're supposed to just shove here. I mean, eight and a
Surely
half
with
big
eights.
blinds. No!
Wow,
She checks. She's extra sneaky. She wants to get him in. And get him in, he might on this flop.
Yikes.
Pair of sixes for Yosifov. Both players check. Eight of spades is not a very good card for Yosifov. Adds a straight draw, though. Let's see if Lazarova starts betting now. I mean, now is the time to start betting. And betting more than just a min bet while she does bet min bet.
I'm so shocked she's never been a dealer. She actually just drop cut those chips really effectively. Maybe she's just a really smart woman. She just sees the dealers doing it and copies, I guess. I don't know.
And 4 of clubs means that Lazarova, unless she gets bluffed out of this hand somehow, has locked this one up.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't be surprised to see a call.
Yeah. Oh, hello. No, we're adding to it. No.
500,000 she's cut out, and that's exactly how much she bets. 500k, and yeah, you might see Yosifov call here with third pair. I don't think... That's an interesting hand. What a check behind from Lazarova, and it might pay off for her. She might get the extra 800,000 by just checking it, and she does get the call.
Wow.
And another very sneaky hand from Lazarova. And Yosifov, I mean, if I'm Yosifov, I can't believe myself.
No.
You can't expect your opponent to check behind the queens with 8 big blinds.
But I mean, if the chat's right and she's winning at 60 and 100 three-handed hyper turbos.
Oh, she's crushing them.
I need to think about my life, because to me, I see 8 big blinds and pocket queens. That is going over the line, and I would never have thought any differently. And now, obviously, Lazarova, she's given me a lot of pause for thought there. I need to perhaps look at what I'm doing playing these.
Wow, this is amazing. And if she's winning 60 and 100 spin and goes online, this means she's a top 1% players in the world. I mean, this is a very, very difficult game to be winning at. I mean, the top pros are not able to win at these stakes. So, I mean, at least crush these stakes. So, Lazarova winning that means that she is definitely, at least on that field, in the spin and goes, she's at least the top 1% spin and go player in the world, which is not an easy feat.
It makes me wonder why she made the decision to kind of take further peels three-handed then. There's obviously some element of once she'd lost a few chips and they were closer to even stacked, there's obviously some element there that's way beyond me. Because I feel like if this information we're being fed by the Twitch chat is accurate, and I can't see why they'd lie to us, she had such an advantage there. But she surprised me all day, and I feel like I should really just get my notebook out and kind of go to Lazarova school.
First time in a while, I feel the same way. I mean, I'm very much impressed. I really want to know the thought process behind the check behind with the queens, and I really can't wait to ask my coaches and the players smarter than me what do they think about it.
Yeah, because Marginov says it's standard strategy to check queen versus limp 7 to 12 bigs deep.
Well, I'm not up to date with my spin and go strategies,
and I'm not even
that
out
shows,
of date
that
with
shows.
mine. Now I have none, so.
So if that's standard, then well, that shows how far the game has just developed. Like even a year ago, that wouldn't have been standard to check behind a hand like queen with 8 big blinds. Maybe for some people it has always been, and maybe some people have been ahead of that curve. But I've never reached that curve to be ahead that much, to know something that no other people know.
No, I haven't even been within sight of the curve, to be honest.
I agree with the balancing your range to include strong hands, but at the same time, do you want to balance? Yeah, I guess you do. A shove from Lazarova now, and Lazarova is kind of on a bit of a heater, because I don't think she's getting called, and all of a sudden she's up to 4.6 million against 5 million, and we're up to even stacks.
I mean, in my mind, I don't want to say you're wrong there, Chris, but I don't see it as she's been on a heater. I mean, okay, she's had 2 pairs back-to-back heads up.
No,
which
I don't
looks
mean a
great,
heater. I mean she's on a short stacks and
she's played an absolute beast of a game. I mean, the woman's awful to play against. I would not want to be sitting there playing her.
And if I'm Yusifov, I would like to get the chips in just because of that reason.
I think I'd be you've got to make a gamble, because she's obviously not inclined to do that, because she's so aware that she can outplay her opponent here in this particular format. Given that the stack sizes, I would be making her punt every hand. You're in or you're out, because I don't see how else you play her.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I guess having it explained by the Twitch chat that you have to balance your check-back ranges as well, and the perfect hands is queens through aces, pretty much the only hands, because you're always checking back behind pretty much like... But for me, I would think that, well, my logic behind like shoving there would be that you have to balance your weak hands that you shove with your strong hands, and then you balance your weak hands that you check with hands like maybe, I don't know, king jack, or I don't know, freaking ace 10. No,
yeah.
you still want to shove ace 10 as well. I mean, I don't know. It makes sense to me. It makes sense to me. You have to balance your check back range. It just feels weird.
It might be stack size related. I mean, it might be one of those crazy thin hair moments where 7 to 12 bigs, it's a check, and more it's a shove. You know, who knows?
And it is something that you have to do against strong players only, because the strong players are the only ones who are thinking if you are balanced there, and not just playing their, like, mostly their cards. And you don't need to balance your queens through aces against weaker opponents, I think.
No, that's true. And I think Lazarova is giving her opponent respect here. She's not just assuming she's playing a completely weak guy. Maybe she even knows him. Maybe they're both Bulgarian. Maybe they both play here regularly. And
hats off to our Twitch chat, who are very informative with their comments and letting us know the intricacies of three-handed play and heads-up play in spin and goes, which is interesting to read. And thank you for sharing that information.
Sure. And being friendly to each other as well. And it shows you what you get in some Twitch chats, where Cracker Cannibal asked a question and was actually given a sensible answer, and it's put, oh, okay, I was fully expecting a Google is your friend kind of response. Yeah, you rarely see stuff like that in the MPN PT chats. We're quite a small, friendly sort of group. Yeah,
even the Twitch chat is a family towards each other, as well as the people here. And I think now that the chip stacks have evened out, I have to say that Lazarov, the way she's been playing, she's a favorite. Yes, they are evenly stacked, and yes, we are short stacked, but she has shown so much more range and capability with a short stack that I would ever have.
Oh, yeah, I'd have been out 600.
For me, it's just a way simpler game in a way, but she shows that there's so much more wiggle room, so much more
nuance,
room to be creative with a short stack, and it's kind of inspiring.
Oh, definitely. I feel like I've got a few points in my game. I can start my next study session with thinking about how she's played here, and it surprises me because I suppose I thought of the three-handed hyper turbos, which I know are really fashionable now, and they're great fun. And if I come to the end of my session and I fancy playing slot machines, then actually I might be more inclined to have a little go at the three-handed hyper turbos. But no, I had no concept that such short stacks could be played so delicately,
exactly.
so intricately.
It's my play is way more robust, and it is nice to see, and that is the kind of like impression you get, that all those spin and go players, they must be hyper aggressive and just pushing it all in and hope for the best. And you can see right there that these are the players who know exactly what to do with a short stack and how to make it work.
But it's obviously not her only knowledge, because she managed to navigate a field of 311, table players on full ring tables.
It is my strong belief that once you have mastered or you're good at short-handed play, it is going to be so much easier for you to play full ring. And if you start as a heads-up player, you just get so much more experience of playing your opponent, like all this different range of hands, and not just the strong pre-flop holdings that
Of course, yeah.
that when you play a full ring table that you must play. You can't really play those raggedy hands, and you never have to challenge yourself to learn how to play those different situations, which you do in heads-up play. So this is why, in my mind, the strongest players are always the heads-up players, which doesn't take away that the full ring players are very strong as well, but if you master the heads-up, you're going to have a good time mastering 6-handed or 9-handed or 8-handed or whatever it is.
Yeah, I think the concern would probably be that you get a bit bored. I would say if you play 3-handed or heads up, the majority of the time, I definitely think there's the risk of becoming a little bit bored playing full ring large field tournaments. But we said, I mean, we did a bit of looking at the start of the stream, didn't we? And said that Lazarova has had one recorded cash that we knew of, which is why we kind of initially thought, well, maybe she's kind of new or whatever. But that was very recently. So I'm wondering if she has just very recently decided to branch out a little bit into live tournaments and see how she feels there. And if that's the case, we're talking, what, 30k of cashes in the last couple of months. I mean, that...
If she's a player who plays regularly and maybe even crushes the 60 to 100 spin and goes, that means she has built herself a very hefty bankroll during her grind. She has gone through all the steps. You don't start with like 60 or 100, and this is not a game you play with 100 buy-ins. This is a game you play with 1,000 buy-ins. So it means you have to be very capable of, it must be the fact that she wants to try out live poker, and it has been working out for her.
Yeah, well, I think it's fair to say one to watch.
I expect to see more from her. Yeah, one to watch. It's up to her if she wants to play more of those. And these are exactly the perfect tournaments to get your live experience on, the MPN 500 Euro tournaments.
Sure.
It's just a perfect way for you to, if you're an online grinder, if you're not super comfortable yet playing live, you don't want to risk all your money, but you still want to play for a decent amount. You still want to go through those decent and quite large fields. That's the perfect ones, the small buy-ins tournaments.
And there we go. I mean, again, the dominating hand is folded. Okay, it was only 8-4, but she was only playing 6-4.
Yeah, margin of, well, in my experience, well, once more, my own closest friend and my coach, well, he if you're playing with 200 and 300 big buy-ins, those spin and goes, you're considered as a very aggressive bankroll management, at least if you're playing for a living. Because you can lose 50 buy-ins in a day very easily in those games, and the variance does kick in. I've seen graphs of people losing 800, running 800 buy-ins under expected value and so on, and that is not something that is very super rare. So you need to have, like, well, I'm not saying that you need to have 1,000 buy-ins, but at least on the highest level you want to have more buy-ins, because the skill margin is smaller. You don't have that big of an advantage, so variance must come at some point.
Oh, cool. And we've also got some info now from Etulo about Bobby. We now even know his first name, Bobby Yosifov, who apparently he's a very nice and clever guy, a self-made, successful businessman who loves to play. Yeah.
And that's another thing. We have been talking about Lazarova a lot, but Yosifov has been playing very decently. He has given Lazarova a very strong fight. He has shown some moves. He has been a class act. I don't think he's been out of line once.
No.
And absolutely pleasure to watch as well. It's just at this situation, this is Lazarova's bread and butter. So blinds have gone up to 200,000 and 400,000. Everything's still very much possible. 9 big blinds against 14 big blinds. This is going to go in sometime very soon.
It really has to. I mean, but then we keep saying it, and Lazarova keeps playing these tiny little pots and crushing his soul. But
yeah.
she was at a chip disadvantage. Oh, there we go. No, he can't call there.
He does go all in, and Yosifov, let's go, and he's down to 8.5 big blinds now. So now it's Yosifov's turn to be in this 8 big blind territory, and let's see how Lazarova deals with it. We saw how Yusifov didn't start shoving there. He rather called with his marginal hand. So let's see how Lazarova, will she put the pressure on or not?
Yeah, I mean, I think it really is time for him to start gambling, because he must have worked out by this point that he's in trouble against her. She's winning way too many small pots to be having hands every time. So he needs to start just putting her to a punt, really, I think.
I have to agree with you. And
well, this is going in.
Cracker, don't go anywhere, because this might be the hand. Yusifov has pocket sevens from the button. It's a matter of what
and it's
Lazarova has.
Oh,
Lazarova has Jack 9 offsuit. So that is an interesting situation. On one hand, I don't know if you want to call. I guess you do want to call against 8 big blind shove. It's certainly on the line of calling or folding. But if you feel like you have a strong edge, you really don't want to give off that edge and maintain your chip lead. And
no, she's in the opposite position, isn't she?
Exactly. So I think Jack 9 is something you would be happy to shove with, but you don't want to call it off with. Maybe against 6 big blinds it's way easier of a call. 7 big blinds is certainly on that level, and against 8 big blinds I guess you just fold. Yeah,
I mean she doesn't want to call off his shoves for the same reason he wants to be making the shoves.
Exactly.
Because she doesn't need to gamble, and I think he does. And it's not a comment on him. I mean, I don't know who would be in a good spot here against Lazarova.
Apparently no one, because she's crushing almost the highest stakes spin and goes.
Yeah, a few players in that circle. That's it, probably.
Yep. But she looks very confident. She's kind of like licking her chops there, like I feel it happening.
Ready for the chips. Oh, she's moved there with the ace high. Is he going to just feel the need with king high?
Ooh.
He must be getting frustrated.
Let's see, as if I don't think he's going to call, but maybe he has figured out that he needs to take those spots, and he does, and I think he calls for value, and Yusifov needs to hit. We might actually crown the winner now, because Lazarova is 60%, 59% with his ace-3. She does have the chip lead. She will be left with 2 million should she lose, but 5-5-9 on a flop. Jack of spades. None of the players have a spade, and the river is what looks like a 10 of hearts, which means that we have our winner.
Wow.
8 of hearts it was. Lazarova, the sickest story of all time.
So well.
Chip leader to the shortest stack, to the chip leader, to one of the shortest stacks, and to winning it all. What a roller coaster. What a incredible performance from Lazarova. I'm so proud of her. I've been impressed of her play all day today, and she's looked good doing it.
Yeah,
and
the style. I'll never forget the style.
She's done it in style.
Wow, well done. Yeah, she really did deserve that, Dan Jones. I fully agree with you there. And a nice little bit of extra info from Itulo again. Apparently, she played a similar tournament with over 150 players at this venue, and she chopped it with her boyfriend 2 years ago. So it's another lovely story, getting heads up with your partner. That's amazing.
Absolutely, and Yusifov, nothing to take away from him. What an absolute nice score. Second place. I mean, he has been playing great all day today. He definitely put up a very strong fight, but today was the day of Lazarova, and she takes down the title, the trophy, and well-deservingly so. Thank you so much for joining me, Kat. Thank you so much for joining us, chat. It has been a long day, but we have finally crowned the winner, the beautiful trophy and the beautiful winner of Lazarova. We are gonna go on a break for a while, and we will see you in the Battle of Malta in October,
yes,
right?
It's going to be a break of a few months, but we are looking forward to that. And just as Lazarova has her picture taken, don't forget, guys, those satellites for Battle of Malta are running now. They start at 55 cents. Get on there, get on one of the sites, and we will see you in Malta.
See you in Malta, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Christian. I was joined by Kat, and we'll see you around. Bye-bye.
Ciao.